Episode 63.
What difference does it make where it is?
Yi Shu's reply came across as rather earnest and straightforward.
But something might happen here soon, so it's better to keep your distance.
As Yi Wei-yang spoke, Blue River's heart gave a sudden lurch. This was clearly a message meant for their Blue Brook Guild. On the surface, it seemed to imply that Tyrannical Ambition and Herb Garden had already joined forces. Today, Blue Brook Guild wouldn't be getting any advantage.
Oh? I heard it's your position that's not so secure.
The Blue Brook Guild's Shi Zhou stepped forward to explain psychological warfare, counter-psychological warfare, counter-psychological warfare. This was the exact kind of tangled mess the three major guilds often found themselves in during their rivalries. Blue River hated this sort of thing. He preferred to stay still and let the enemy move first, to remain unchanged and adapt to any change. He'd leave the tangled problems for others to handle.
Oh, is that so? Could it be that Herb Garden is the one scheming against both of us? How about we team up?
Yi Wei-yang spoke. To ally or not to ally, that was the question. Blue River just felt a massive headache coming on. He immediately sent a message to both guild leaders.
What the hell are you all doing? Get over here.
The reply came from Che Chanzi, the guild leader of Herb Garden.
I didn't do anything.
The guild leader of Tyrannical Ambition, Night Frost, replied.
Didn't I already send someone over?
Neither of them was cooperating, and Blue River felt another headache coming on. Honestly, he wished the three guilds would just send representatives and settle it with a game of rock, paper, scissors, but he knew that was impossible. Even if everyone agrees on the surface, they'll inevitably cheat and turn on each other. The so-called winner is just the cicada in the mantis stalks the cicada proverb, waiting to get stabbed in the back. This has happened countless times. In the end, even the winners of these agreements are cautious, and after all the back and forth, everyone realizes that these pacts are utterly meaningless, so why even bother wasting the time? The three major guilds all maintain a dignified public image, where their word is their bond and their reputation is sterling. But when it comes to competition among themselves, any kind of despicable, shameless tactic is fair game. Honor, promises, they're just empty words. Because the competition between the three guilds was the only thing that truly mattered to them. Even a method where everyone just competed on pure DPS output was something Blue River couldn't believe in. He was convinced the losing side would definitely resort to dirty tricks. He knew all too well that every hunt for a wild boss would claim countless lives. In that moment, Blue River felt a deep nostalgia for dungeons. Compared to hunting a wild boss, even the most difficult dungeons seemed downright cozy. There's never any genuine cooperation between the three major guilds. It's all just mutual probing and constant weariness. Seeing Yi Wei-yang still chattering away, Blue River prepared to draw his sword. Honestly, when he called those two guild leaders over just now, he didn't have good intentions either. After all, none of them have any shame. If those two actually dare to come over, we'll take them down on the spot. Neither of them came over. It's just Yi Wei-yang here, yapping away. Blue River figured he might as well just kill him. After all, the relationship between them was crystal clear. But then, he suddenly heard Yi Shu speak.
Isn't that Thousand City?
Blue River was taken aback. He swung his view around and saw a figure, magic ripples pulsing underfoot, a battle staff in hand, charging onto the scene. Without a word, he went straight for the boss. Blue River couldn't be bothered with him anymore. This guy was just a loose cannon with no sense of teamwork or discipline.
I'll go help him out.
Blue River hadn't expected Lord Grimm to suddenly drop that line and then charge forward. This was something he couldn't manage even if he wanted to.
Hey, why'd you run off like that? I wasn't finished.
Yi Wei-yang was still shouting when Blue River suddenly drew his sword, unleashing a draw sword slash straight at the kid. But Yi Weiyang had been on guard all along. With a swift backflip, he dodged the strike.
Hey, a guild leader resorting to sneak attacks?
Yi Weiyang mocked. Blue River moved, and several of his men immediately surged forward to attack. But Yi Weiyang had already darted away, and members of Tyrannical Ambition quickly closed in. The Blue Brook Guild members instantly pulled back. They had no intention of starting a fight with Tyrannical Ambition, not with Herb Garden still lurking on the sidelines. The three major guilds were locked in a stalemate, each too wary to make a move. Meanwhile, the players caught in the middle were dropping like flies. The 10-man squad they'd cobbled together was now down to just 5. They'd already lost half their number.
Why are you all just standing there watching?
Hurry up and kill him.
Lord Grim charged in. Yi Shu heard their shouts. They clearly had no idea what was going on, completely unaware of the three major guilds' internal struggle. But no matter how much the three major guilds agonized, the fate of those 5 was sealed as a tragedy. If they can't kill Bloodgunner, they die. If they can kill Bloodgunner, they die even faster. The three major guilds hadn't made a move against them yet, simply because they fell into the former category. They were utterly incapable of dealing with Bloodgunner.
Hey, join the party!
One of the 5 called out to Thousand City on the sidelines. As the 6th player on the field, Thousand City charged into the fray. The opposing team immediately sent an invite, but he ignored it. Lord Grim charged right up to them, and Yi Shu called out.
Add me in.
At the same time, he deftly left Blue River's party.
What's he doing?
Blue River was utterly bewildered. Lord Grim's charge left him confused. Then, suddenly leaving the party, seemingly to join a regular team, left him even more baffled.
If Lord Grim is the one killing the boss, do we try to steal it?
Huh? Blue River was taken aback. Was Lord Grim trying to exploit the fact that the major guilds were all focused on him, hoping they wouldn't follow his lead so he could snatch the boss for himself? That's a rather naive idea. The three great guilds did value him highly and were willing to make concessions for him in many situations, but that was when they were the ones taking the initiative. Now, he was actively exploiting that psychology to force their hand. That was an entirely different matter. No one likes being strong-armed, especially not the top 3 guilds. Sure, they put on a humble, respectful front, but if you scheme against them like this, who's going to just swallow that insult? Qiancheng darted around the edges of the fight, searching for an opening. The 5 players were basically just being chased down and beaten by the Bloodgunner. The moment Lord Grim joined the fray, the entire dynamic shifted. Even the Bloodgunner's high-speed movements were no match for his precision. With a single sky strike, he sent the boss tumbling. This was an attack that Thousand City hadn't managed to land for quite some time. The falling blossom palm struck true, sending Bloodgunner tumbling across the ground. This is a field boss, an entity far more powerful than a dungeon's hidden boss. The sky strike barely lifted it off the ground. If anyone else were at the controls, pulling off a follow-up aerial attack with that falling flower palm would be questionable at best. When you strike a target in mid-air, the knockback effect gets a bonus. The higher the launch, the bigger the bonus. But with Bloodgunner, this is about as high as you can get him. Lord Grim's palm strike had reached its maximum knockback effect. In a blur, 2 Lord Grims suddenly appeared on the field, one in the original spot and another who had flashed behind Bloodgunner, shadow clone technique. The one that flashed behind him was of course the clone. It immediately grabbed Bloodgunner and hurled him away, a grappler skill throw. Bloodgunner was flung another good distance. The Herb Garden players were suddenly in an uproar. Why was Bloodgunner getting closer and closer to them?